Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of 2 active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. So this week I did print stickers off from MandyArtMarket. I love the cherry blossoms, and then I just made my own boxes and coordinating colors to use on my spread. I didn't have a plan on where I was going to put the cherry blossoms, but I was either thinking across the middle or kind of diagonally across the page. So I'm just trying to figure out if I think I have enough stickers to fill a diagonal design, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to go for it, and I will just print off more if I have to, although I prefer not to print off more. And I am just going to use this Creative Memories cutting stencil to do my wavy lines. You could freehand it. I'm just not very good at freehanding things like this. So I did think, oh, well, I have this stencil. I'll just go ahead and use it. So if you have a tool to use, go ahead and use it. Otherwise, you can freehand it. So I'm just going to get that lined up-ish so that it looks like it flows across the page. And then I will start filling it in with florals. I will put a time code in down below, and I'll put some chapters in. So if you want to skip me putting in all the florals, you can do that. It does take me a while. I sped it up quite a bit, but it is time consuming. I did start just by filling in a few spots because I wasn't sure how many flowers I had versus how much space I had to cover. So I did just kind of start randomly putting them in. I used the wax paper to get some of them a little less sticky. So I just started by putting a few down, and then I'll go back in and trim off the edges. But I also wanted to make sure that I spread out those more floral images versus the ones with the branches. So I did want to try to space those out across the whole page. And this part probably took about 15 minutes, but like I said, you can go ahead and skip to the next chapter if you'd like. And if you have time, leave me a comment down below of whether you like to see this kind of thing in a video, or if you would rather just have me cut to the finished product. But you'll also see that I am not using those large florals. I would like to save those to use throughout my page as I'm decorating the rest of it. I definitely don't just want the decor to go across the middle. I would like it to be spread throughout the page as well. So I will be saving those larger flowers for that purpose. This process definitely was a labor of love and a little more intricate than I was expecting it to be, but I definitely like how it turned out, and I like that it's a little bit different than what I normally do. I will be just returning from vacation. We will be coming home from Florida, and hopefully it will be turning into spring here in Ohio very soon. It was spring and then it was winter again, so I'm just hoping for those spring blossoms to start, and I'm really liking these florals from MandyArtMarket. I will link her site down below. She does have some free images that you can use. This, I think, is one of them, but I have used some of her other designs in the past, and they are really pretty. They do not come with Cricut files or anything like that, but they are the images. And then I just went ahead and put a white border around all of the images so that when I cut them on my Cricut, they had a little bit of a border, and it wasn't as intricate for the Cricut to be cutting out all of the florals. I also wanted to mention my Cricut control knife that I am using here. I have used an X-Acto knife in the past, and it just didn't work for me. I've tried a few brands, and I just didn't have the control over the knife like I do with this fat knife. I like how thick the body of the knife is. It's easy to hold on to. I like the lid. I just like how sturdy it is in general. So if you are looking for a new X-Acto knife tool, I really do like this Cricut control knife. And I will find a link to that as well to drop in the description below. And now that I have a lot of florals already on this section, now we're getting to the more challenging part of fitting in florals in the blank spots. So it is fun and challenging all at the same time. I did really enjoy putting this spread together, even though it did take a while. I love crafting and I love puzzles, so this is just a good project for me. If you don't like dealing with intricate details, then you might want to pick a standard size of things if you wanted to do this. It would be much easier if I did like a bunch of circles that went across the page and not all these oddly shaped florals. I did size some of the florals different so they weren't all the same size as well. So like I said, it was very puzzle-like when I was putting this together. And as I said, if you want to skip to the next chapter, feel free. I am going to drop some music in right now in case you want to finish watching me place the rest of these florals. And now that I have most of the florals down where I want them, I am just going to go back through and clean up all the edges around my design and trim any other florals that I haven't trimmed yet, maybe fill them in if I can, and then we will decide what to do next. And honestly, I like how this looks, but I didn't know how to erase my pencil lines. So I did go and find a couple of markers that coordinated with my florals, and I did outline with the darker color. Again, I would have liked to not outline, but I didn't know how to cover up my pencil line. I thought that if I went in with an eraser that I would end up ripping up some of the stickers. So like I said, I did go with this option, not my favorite, but I think it turns out okay in the end once I get other stickers down. But right now it's looking very dark and I was wishing that I hadn't done it at this point. And I also am not the greatest at freehanding, which is why I used that wave template in the beginning. And I think it turned out okay, but I wasn't confident going in. And then before I put any other decor down, I do want to do the lines. I'm using the Krissyanne Designs stencil, and I am using the 7mm spacing guidelines. And so because this is the sampler and there are multiple different versions of the lines, I do have to put some lines down and then move the stencil up and finish so that they're all the same 7mm spacing. And my goal is to have a space each day to write my calendar items and then a space to write my to-do items on each day. And even though I put my lines down at the bottom areas of the pages, I don't necessarily need to put my calendar items all across the top of the page. I'm okay with spreading them around the entire spread. And once I do get these lines down, then we're going to start placing the other boxes and quotes and stickers around the page just to get a finished look. I do like all the florals so far, but I'm excited at this point to get the larger florals in place. And I do flip through this quotes book a few times. The colors are right, but I don't think I end up using them. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure the quotes and the boxes and the florals that I have left and have printed out on my own are going to be enough for this page. I did just keep it open to the side in case I need to fill in any gaps. But my plan is to leave space each day for calendar items. So I am going to start with my sidebar. It's the easiest place for me. And unfortunately, since we're back from vacation, I will have to go back to meal planning again. So I did go ahead and put this long box on my sidebar for my meal plans. And then I'm going to put a floral up at the top and then also this box sticker. And I did play around with where I wanted to put it exactly. And I could have left it once I put it down, but I decided I did not like that there was a border for my meal plans, but not a border on the header. So I did decide to scooch it over a little bit so that the white border matched on both boxes. So I'm going to take that third color of box that I have, the light pink, and put it down at the bottom. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this section for. I am filming and voiceovering this before we go on vacation, so I'm not sure what exactly is going to be going on when I get back. It probably will be a list of things that I need to get the kids ready for sports. My daughter is starting softball, not this week, but the next week, and my son has already started outdoor soccer. So I'm sure there will be a list of things that I need to run around town to get. I will still have to figure out how to cover up that to-do text. And now I'm going to go ahead and start placing my quotes and my boxes. The first quote says, "Let your dreams bloom like cherry blossoms." And then this one that I'm putting in a box says, "You are far too smart to be the only thing standing in your way." And I did take the quote and put it in a box, and then I cut down the box so that it fit around the quote. I do think that in the future I will just start putting my quotes directly in the boxes. The only plus side to this is I can choose the color of the box as I'm doing my page instead of being stuck with the color of the box that I pick in the beginning when I print them. So I guess it's a toss-up, but I don't really love being able to see the sticker inside the box. You might not be able to see it on camera, but I definitely can see it when I'm looking at my page. So I'm not sure how much it's going to bother me, but I've done this for a couple of spreads now, and every time I'm like, maybe I should just go ahead and put that in a box with a border. So then I'm also going to grab this next quote that says, "Don't wait for someone to bring you flowers, plant your own garden and decorate your own soul." And I was able to put it sideways in one of the boxes, and the quote sticker had rounded edges, so it made it look like the interior of the box was rounded, which I actually liked. So yet another thing that I can do going forward is put my quote in a box, and the box doesn't have to be square. Just because that's how most of the boxes are made, that does not mean that that's how I have to make my boxes. So I did like that the interior of the box had rounded interior edges. And then I did make another box for this quote that says, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And right now I'm just trying to balance the pink across the page, and I really like how the pink looks overlapped with the florals and that darker pink line. I feel like it brings the darker pink line into the spread a little more. So I feel like that pulls it all together. And then the florals, the bigger florals with the dark pink centers is really helping pull that pink across the entire page. And at this point, I got a phone call and my phone was not on Do Not Disturb. So I went ahead and took a break and took that call. And then to cover up the to-do, I did use one of my last big stickers. And I like how the florals are spread across the page. And I'm just trying to balance any of the other colors that I need to balance. I feel like even though there's a light pink box on the left side and a light pink box on the right side. I don't necessarily need another light pink box because there is so much light pink going across the page. And the same with the green. There is plenty of green going across the page, so the fact that I didn't put another green box towards the bottom on the right side of the page is okay. So like I said, I'm just trying to balance everything out. I made sure I had all the lines in the right places and that I had plenty of room to write my meal plans and all my calendar items for the week. Other than that, that's my spread for the week, and I hope you have a great one. See you in my next video. Bye!